Hey Patrick,
Hey Mark, hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, doing good as well. It's a little bit freezing cold again, and I noticed I say this basically every week, but man, it's winter. We had minus 2 degrees the other day, but with awesome sun, so it was super cool. How about you?
I think Monday was kind of sunny. The rest of the days were kind of cold a bit
Mm.
and gloomy. But I was wondering, like I saw you in one of the videos on the Solana course that you're making
Mhm.
with the jacket on. Like, is this something with your heater?
Yeah, so when I get to the office where I actually record the videos, I'm usually in okay, let's get started mode. So I'm not that patient to um, wait till the heater gets warm enough. So I keep my jacket on, and yeah, but later on I put it off. So yeah, it's sometimes I get a little bit rushed when I get to the office, and this is the reason, I guess.
Okay, I see. All business.
And no time to
No
waste,
time
I
to
guess.
warm up and get a coffee. Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Um, yeah. Anything that happened to your portfolio this week?
Mm, no big changes. I guess the smaller fluctuations. I think ETH lost a little bit against BTC
Hmm.
again this week. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit more BTC uh, holder right now. Last week I was I think 28%. Right now I could be at 29% or so, but just minor fluctuations. I didn't bought anything new. I didn't sell anything. I'm just good position for now. I do feel good, and I'm waiting for the market to show a signal if it wants to go down even more or up even more, and then I will reallocate a little bit. But for now, I feel comfortable. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, but I bridged some of my funds from Solana over to Phantom.
Hmm.
So and I entered. I'm not sure if you know Beethoven, that
Hmm.
protocol on Phantom. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a balancer clone, and I entered a pool that is like I think it is quarter BTC, a quarter Phantom, quarter USDC, and a quarter ETH, and I'm yield farming
Hmm.
with that on Liquid Driver.
Interesting.
And the APR on that is like last time I checked it was like 120% or something. So it's quite good at the moment. So yeah, this is yeah, I guess I own a little bit more Phantom, but still it's
Hmm.
just a tiny position. And on the Solana side, I started nibbling a little bit on Albridge. So
Hmm.
I need an Albridge allocation anyway to bridge over to make it a bit more cheap.
Hmm.
And I decided to buy a little bit extra, but still tiny amounts, fortunately.
Do you need the Orbit token to bridge, or is it just that you get some benefit?
No, you get a discount if you stake the token. So normal bridge fee is 0.3 percent or like yeah, I think the same as like a sushi swap or Uniswap kind
Hmm.
of fee, and you can reduce that amount by getting in all bridge tokens. And
Hmm.
you don't even need to have that much to reduce the amount already significant if you're
Hmm.
transferring a decent amount. So yeah, I bought I don't know maybe like 100 euro or something, or maybe a little bit more on all
Hmm.
bridge, and that was enough to it's already cost effective, so I already have the cost back just by
Ah, okay,
discount
interesting.
on the bridging.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, cool.
yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it with regards to the portfolio.
Okay, then I think we are both in a kind of being patient and wait what happens mode, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
do you want to proceed to the remarkable things that happened this week, or do you have anything to add to your portfolio?
No, I just want to say that I'm a little bit in analysis paralysis in terms of what to do next.
Hmm.
Like I have some GBTC that I kind of want to liquidate and do something else with, but at the same
Hmm.
time, this may be a relative bottom for BTC. Is it really that
Hmm.
smart to to liquidate it at the bottom?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm still I haven't made up my mind on this yet.
Do you where do you think to put the GBTC into a stablecoin, into a riskier asset? What are you thinking about?
Yeah,
Or even
either
completely out of crypto?
no, well, maybe I think that one company is pretty interesting. That sorry, this is gonna be hard. I think it's a Canadian company, and they make like infrastructure for web shops. I forgot what the
Hmm.
name is, but
Spotify? No, right?
no. It's Spotify is
Uh,
Scandinavian. I'm talking
Shopify, sorry.
Shopify. Yeah, maybe it's Shopify.
Yeah.
And I think they have a German CEO probably. But anyway,
Hmm.
I saw that they got Matt Wang or something on the board, and he's like the head
Yeah.
of Delphi. And yeah, I think they're gonna do some things with Web3. So it may be interesting, as a stock pick, I would probably
Mm,
enter that, but yeah, I'm unlikely to add a stock pick, to be honest. Crypto is just too awesome to
yeah.
have stocks. So I would probably just, yeah, I'm not sure what I would do with it. Maybe just get
Mm,
some more of the coins that you mentioned earlier.
mm. Yeah, I was about to say, guys, the bottom is in. We are talking about getting money out of crypto and to buy stocks, but no, not for now. But on that note, I think it could make for good informational content as well if we think and talk about our outside of crypto investments as well someday somehow. But I think not for now. And yeah, let's just stick to things within crypto. And yeah, I think there is the higher upside, I guess.
Yep. Um,
Okay, go
sure.
ahead, please.
Let me start with what happened. There are some
Yeah,
remarkable
sure.
things. There was a post. It's actually from last week already, and it's about. Sorry, I forgot the name. What is the guy who is very into communities, into DAOs? Do you know who
Oh,
you know? Cooper Turley. You know him?
yeah, Capocholia, yeah.
Yeah. So Cooper Turley, he did research together with someone else on a whole lot of token launches from 2011 or something all the way to now. And they did research on what the allocations are like, the distributions of the tokens. So,
Mm-hmm.
X% goes to VCs or something, X% to teams. And what was pretty interesting to me is that the allocation has shifted a bit towards more towards the team and also more towards ecosystem incentives and also surprisingly a little bit more towards airdrops. So I had to think of you because you mentioned that airdrops may not be
Mm-hmm.
as lucrative, but surprisingly enough, protocols are putting a bigger percentage of their allocation towards airdrops than they used to.
Mm. Do you have a rough estimation on what's a good um, token distribution model for people out there? If they see, okay, there is uh, token launch, there is a
Yes. At,
ICO, IDO.
yes, at the bottom they give an optimal token distribution, and they say, let me paraphrase, for teams launching a token in 2022, here's our suggested token distribution. And then
Hmm.
the team and the investors both get 17.5%. The treasury gets 50%,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
and airdrop 5%, and ecosystem incentives 10%.
Hmm.
So quite interesting, quite an
Hmm.
interesting distribution.
70% for the team and the backers.
17 and a half. So
Okay, that's slow. I like it,
it's
yeah.
low, yeah, it's slow.
50% treasury is quite big.
Yeah, it's quite big. Like, why do they need such a big treasury? I would put more ecosystem incentives personally, but
Mm,
yeah. Anyway, I
but
thought it was interesting, and you may just
yeah,
find it interesting.
yeah, absolutely. Great source of information.
Sure. And then some other things that happened. I'm not sure if you noticed, but Near had a raise, and
Hmm. The near
Suzu,
protocol,
yeah,
the blockchain, right?
yeah, they had a 150 million raise, and I think Suzu was kind of the lead, I think, on that one, and also Z Prime, which is also a venture capitalist that I follow sometimes.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was just wondering, did you notice that they have that raise? And yeah, Suzu was already putting the Near icon in his
Hmm.
in his name for a while. So
Mm.
so what do you think about Near?
I think it's uh, what rank is it right now on Coin Market Cap? 17, 16, 15, 20, something along those lines, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And if I think that Matic, for example, is 12, 13, 14 or so, I think that it's at a point where it needs to cool down a little bit. So I have no idea about the technology. I have no idea about the ecosystem. I never heard about it, at least still a month ago. And then the first YouTubers came up and said, okay, near. So right now, I think it's just one part of the game which is going on right now. So the game of musical chairs, and this is the alternative layer one. So for me, I won't touch it in a big way. I have a small position, and I built this position up when Near was, yeah, I think at $10 or so, or even less. So I got in super good, and now it's roughly at $20. But it's not a high conviction bet of me. I don't see it to be around, to stick around. But don't have that much information. Maybe there is legit ecosystem growth. Maybe there are developers. Maybe they have a good CEO. Maybe there is a good use case. But I don't know. How do you think about it?
Yeah, as I'm aware, the only chain on Near is Aurora, right, at the moment, or are there other
I think
chains?
so.
Yeah, so
No, yeah.
Aurora is kind of like a small, kind of crappy chain at the moment. I checked all the protocols there, and it's very, very crappy at the moment.
Mm,
So I wonder where's the premium from Near coming from, So
mm,
I heard that, yeah, of course, Aurora has free gas fees right now, so that's nice. And also, I read the other day that part of the gas fees will go to the protocols or something. So
hmm
that's also kind of nice, but still, yeah, if you consider that it's way, like I think it's like 1.5 times as much worth as much as Phantom. Phantom has like
mm,
50 protocols, a huge community,
yeah,
a
exactly.
lot of activities. Yeah, it seems overvalued.
I
But
think so as well.
yeah, but on the other hand, like last time Suzu pumped, a chain and it was Avalanche,
Mm,
it went up a whole lot, So
yeah.
yeah, I wonder, is the same thing gonna happen this time, or is this time gonna be
Mm,
different?
yeah. I think don't hate the players, hate the game, and I think Suzu can do whatever he wants. And I think what I at least learned out of all those alternative layer one approaches is it would be a mistake to don't have a back, and it would even be it would also be a mistake to have a back, a big back. So I will just build up small bags and yeah, see if something develops. But there is no chain right now. Besides Ethereum, BTC, and Solana, where I have high conviction, and even Phantom, even Avalanche, I don't have high conviction, but I think it could be a good trade for multiple months just to build up a small position and basically hold and see what develops.
Yeah, I agree.
And he also has Mina in his um,
Yeah,
bio,
correct.
I see, and I do have a nice Mina back. So yes,
Okay.
Suzu, please go ahead. Mina is at rank 100 plus right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Please,
Mina's not doing too well, right? Relatively speaking. I mean, it did, of course, very well, but it's not even top 100 right now.
Mina is all the time between 95 and 110, all
Okay.
the time, just
Yeah,
up,
okay.
down, up, down, up, down. But it's an interesting chain for sure.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Um, okay. And then I had another thread about helium.
Hmm?
So I found someone pretty interesting on Twitter who is like a helium maxi, but he has really
Hmm?
nice, how do you call it? Um, where they have like a chain of tweets in a row, like a tweet storm or something.
A threat?
Yeah, thread. Oh my God, today
Hmm?
I can't think of words like a thread. Yeah, so he has some really nice helium threads. Yeah, I recommend you to look at it.
Hmm?
What is surprising to me, some things that I didn't know, that there will be a second halvening of helium, and
Hmm?
they, yeah, they will have a Coinbase listing, and also like 28% of the supply is locked with validators. And they have a 5G launch at the moment. So right now the Helium boxes, they are more meant for IoT devices, but
Hmm?
they are starting to do a launch with 5G. And yeah, that's going to be quite interesting because then people can connect their phones to it, and
Hmm?
when the signal's not that good, they can use Helium. And also, what got me inspired by that is that I listened to an episode, and it is some kind of crypto debate episode where the host is debating the guest, and the guest was Kyle
Hmm?
Samani, and they had a pretty good debate, which is also partly about helium and in general, like about the usefulness of Web3.
Hmm?
So yeah, I'm still pretty bullish on helium. I don't have a position right now, but yeah, I
Hmm?
think it's very interesting, and I just think that because it's hardware and software combined,
Hmm?
you get really die-hard people, because people love hardware. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
that gives it an advantage that most coins don't have.
Hmm. And as a quick explainer, it's basically you host your own Wi-Fi spots and you get basically paid for it, right?
Yes, correct. Only it is meant for not necessarily Wi-Fi. I think it's a different kind of range. It's meant
Hmm.
for IoT devices. So a low, I don't know, a low wave and then low energy consumption
Hmm.
wave is not Wi-Fi as far as I'm aware.
Hmm. Okay, dokie. Yeah, it's on my list as well.
Hmm.
I need to do some research on my own, but for now, I think it's a legit bet,
Hmm.
but I don't invest it into it right now.
Okay. And then one final thing, Patrick.
Hmm.
A comment from Suzu again that I read. and it says a brief comment to aspiring rotators. I know many people who have become billionaires from holding the same coins over longer time periods. I don't know anyone who has done so rotating from coin to coin frequently.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's good. I like that. I like that.
so yeah, what do you think about this? And yeah, with regards to your near position, right? So
I
you've held
think
it for quite a while.
that Suzu does that in order to get awareness because this will trigger the rotators and they will rotate even harder. But I think for me personally, I think that's the approach I would suggest to 99.9% of the people out there because it's just not healthy to think all the time, how can I rotate? Because it's a PvP game and I don't like the PvP game within crypto. So I would think that he does it because he gets some benefit out of it. And he's just knows how this game works. He has how many Twitter followers? 500,000 or so.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but a lot.
So yeah, he can basically manipulate the market from a psychological point of view because he is Suzu and he has this high following, and he also has most likely a fund with multiple billions, so he can manipulate the market as well. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But if I would take just his words, I think, amen, brother. But yeah, I don't know why he does what he does, and I don't want to speculate about it too deeply. How do you think about it?
Um, yeah, I'm usually, maybe I'm too gullible. I usually trust people when they say things like this.
Mm,
So maybe he means it. And I mean, I think he does have a big Bitcoin position, for instance, right? So maybe he
mm,
is referring to that one, or
mm,
in general. So yeah, but I do think it's interesting. If you think of the people who've become very wealthy last cycle, they bought some tokens very cheaply and held on to it.
mm,
Like Kyle with Solana and some other people like with Phantom and yeah. So
mm.
Your Will's friend guy, he probably also had Solana very cheaply and held it, right?
Mm,
And some other dexes like Saber or something Radium.
yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe we should look for something that is still early instead of something that is already super hyped. But yeah, that's difficult,
Yeah,
of
I
course.
agree. I agree. That's exactly what I mean. By being a rotator, by being a trader, you can make marginal profits, uh, like 10% or 50% gain. But if you want to make the big money, I guess you need to be early in projects, and then you need to hold them. And the hold one is, yeah, quite tough as well. I just need to think about my popsicle position I had one day and how much money I had in there. It shot up like 60x or so when I got them. Then it dropped back to 10x, and yeah, it's just not that easy to hold and to sell those positions as well. So yeah, it's also not that easy to become a billionaire by just holding, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything remarkable that happened this week?
Yeah, I do have a couple of points. The first one is so actually a friend of mine. He's in a WhatsApp group of mine. We are four or five people in there, and he asked me, "What do I think of NFTs?" And so give you a little bit more context. He's in his early 30s. He holds and bought some legit coins like Ethereum, BTC, and stuff like this. And right now, I think that the NFT hype is getting bigger and bigger. He asked those questions, "What do I think of NFTs?" In order to see what's possible out there and what would I recommend because I'm not that flipper guy. I'm more like the okay, how can I invest in it with good Sharpe ratio basically, so not that much volatility to the downside, but not that much um, to the upside as well, just like okay, steady growth. And yeah, I'm wondering if someone in this position would ask you the question, "Hey Mark, what do you think about NFTs?" And you keep in mind that it's a normal guy, he most likely will want to make some money with it. How would you go about answering this question?
Um, yeah, that's tricky. If he wants to make some money with NFTs, then if I wanted to make money with NFTs, then I'd probably first do a lot of research, like follow the right people. For instance, like Cooper Turley, for instance, I think he would be someone to follow if you were interested in NFTs.
Mm,
And yeah, and then you need to develop your own style, kind of, I think, because there's different types of NFTs, right? You got
mm,
profile picture one, you got game NFTs, you got like artistic NFTs. Um, yeah, you would need to do a lot of research and just consume NFTs for a while, just read all about it, join the discourse
Mm,
before you can really make up your mind of what is valuable and not. I think it's like a skill that you can train, but it takes a lot of practice, I think, and a lot of time. So
mm,
I wouldn't just go right out and go to OpenSea and buy some NFTs that seem nice to you,
mm,
because it takes a specific eye to see, what is good, what is good, and what will be popular. I think it's pretty hard to predict personally. So yeah, I'll probably be very cautious. So either do that, or maybe you can buy a fractional share of something that's already popular, like punks or something, right? If you can buy a fractional
mm,
share of that and then just hold it, I think it will be, it will keep its value. But yeah, I don't know too much about NFTs, to be honest.
mm,
How would you do it?
mm. Let me ask you a question, then I will answer your question. Do you have any NFTs?
Um, yeah, I have only two NFTs, I think, and they are. It was a timely, like a timed release from Illuvium. So basically, people who
Mm,
enter their IDO, they had the opportunity to mint some NFTs if they wanted to, and they can be used in game later on. So these are the only
mm,
NFTs I have. Yeah, I'm not even sure if they're at a profit or loss at the moment. So yeah, NFTs are just not my cup of tea, to be honest.
mm,
I've never been a guy who is about you know, like in World of Warcraft, who's about transmogrifying or icon sets or
mm, mm,
I've never bought skins, for instance, in League of Legends for money. So I'm just
mm.
not that kind of person.
Yeah, I would underline that, and this would be my answer. So I think it comes down to what your personal interests are. I think you can make a good money in the NFT ecosystem, but I also think that you can lose a lot of money in the NFT ecosystem if you are just somewhat in there. So I would underline if that's your cup of tea, go ahead, knock yourself out, but do your research. You can take this in multiple approaches. You could also take this from the approach of, okay, I enjoy it, I do have fun with it, I buy it and I hold it because I think it's nice, and not just pure speculation. Um, I would divide this between two scenarios, and for now, so the now time and the potential future time. So for now, I think NFTs are mainly profile pictures, it's art, but it's also some first DeFi things. So NFTs are not just profile pictures and art. For example, the Uniswap LP position is also an NFT, and so I think NFTs for now are mainly for speculation, and that's not what I'm interested in. But I do know a couple of people. They make some nice money with NFTs, but you have to also pay your taxes. So yeah, don't just think that if you bought and flipped NFTs, you can avoid the taxman. No, 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 don't do this. And the second one is the potential in the future. So from the potential, I mean the metaverse and in quotes, the more legit stuff like real estate on the blockchain, legal documents on the blockchain, maybe your insurance documents, your ID, stuff like this. I think this is super, 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 super legit. You can even go into the category of under-collateralized loans, and I think NFTs play a big role in there. So I think this is years away, and from my honest opinion, I think prices are way overpriced right now in the whole NFT ecosystem. And even though this may hurt to hear this from me, Mark, but even though I think play to earn and crypto gaming falls under this category as well, I think this is vastly overpriced right now. But nevertheless, I do think it's a good time to have at least 1 to 2% of your portfolio allocation in long-term bets. Let's say like infrastructure bets. Let's say you go into yield guild, for example, or you can go into Illuvium because Illuvium has a long, 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 long time horizon. They want to make movies, if I recall this correct. So they are not just, okay, we are a game and we are done in 2 months. So I think you need to take a look in the mirror. Um, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to get out of NFTs? And then you need to divide between what is now available and what are potential use cases. And for me, I think that I believe in NFTs. I don't believe in art and I don't believe in NFT flipping. I believe in the long-term things, and this is why I most likely will invest 1 or 2% of my portfolio allocation into this niche, into this category.
Okay, yeah, I would broadly agree with you, Patrick. And for those who are interested, by the way, in a different use case for NFTs, you could take a look at a protocol called Levana, and it's on the
Mm,
Terra blockchain. They're combining DeFi and NFTs in a pretty interesting way.
mm. Yeah, there are some good interviews out there, right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, perfect. I do have two more remarkable things, and maybe we can speed it up a little bit.
Sure.
Um, the first one is no, let's not speed this one up because I think this was super 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 cool. So you know Bankless and you know Kobe, right? Kobe, Crypto Kobe.
Yep, yep.
And for our listeners, a quick explanation: Bankless is a podcast. They make video content as well. They have around 100,000 subscribers right now on YouTube, and they do talk a lot about Ethereum, but they also talk more and more about how to make it in crypto and longer term stuff. And they go into politics right now. So if you are interested in fundamental developments and not price speculations, I highly, highly recommend those guys. I think they are super, super awesome, David and Ryan. I really like listening to them. And they had their 100 guest, which is called Crypto Cobain, and Crypto Kobe is in crypto for I think 10 years by now, roughly, right?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
yeah, and Crypto Kobe is a cool guy. He's super funny, super relaxed. So I think this was one of the best episodes I listened to in a long time. It was a really cool episode, and so to give you a little bit more context, Kobe has roughly between, I would at least guess, between 20 and 200 million. So he has quite a huge bag. And I must say that this episode was so funny and so educational combined. There were parts in there, and I don't know about you, my dear listeners, but if you do listen to a podcast or if you do listen to something on YouTube or so, in order to listen to it and then actually laugh, it's super super rare for me, and I need to laugh multiple times during this podcast. So I highly recommend it. It was really good advice on how to make it in crypto from his almost 1 decade in crypto, and also some nuances I would like to point out because I got 3 learnings out of it, and I would like to share them with you real quick.
Sure.
And I would also like to hear your opinion about those learnings. What do you think about it?
Yeah, sure. Let me know.
So okay, so the first one is Kobe is someone who frames things quite funny sometimes, and he actually said if you take a look on how everything performed against Ethereum, you could also hold your Ethereum for the last 18 months and simply go outside and enjoy the sun. So this basically means don't just focus so much time and energy and mental space on what's the next big thing, what's the next big thing. Just buy ETH, and I know past performance is not a guarantee for future performance, but I think ETH is super valuable right now. So for me, this got me thinking, and this is a big learning. Maybe just take the legit bets, Solana, BTC, Ethereum, and enjoy more life, right? Enjoy more sun, and don't think so much about crypto. The second point is that he got a good amount of joy and fulfillment, I guess, that he was able to take care of his family. He basically told the small story that he's able to pay for things for his family. I'm not sure about the details, but it sounded like that he basically helped his family with some open bills they had to pay, something along the lines of the house payment most likely and stuff like this. So it seems like that he is in a position right now where he is able to help other people and he gets enjoyment out of it. So this is another question I have for myself. I'm not rich by any means right now, but I do live quite comfortable. And I'm thinking more about, okay, how can I take some money out of crypto and do good things for my family and friends, even if there are just small things, because I think this is one of the big points in life where it makes not that much difference if you um, give someone something for $10 or $1,000. If it comes from your heart and if it helps other people, I think this brings equal joy. And the third point is, and then sorry for the long rambling, but I think it's super valuable advice, and I highly recommend listening to the whole episode again. I'm so puzzled how Kobe stays so relaxed and in such a good mood most of the times. He has a huge amount of humor, but I think it's so awesome that he can have a bag between 20 and 200 million in crypto and just laugh and just have fun and just don't get mentally wrecked by losing a couple of millions or even multiple millions or even tens of millions, hundreds of millions. And I'm just really impressed by his relaxedness. So what do you think about those three points, Mark? So just simply buying and holding, ETH and enjoying the sun. The second one is taking care of other people, and the third one is how to stay relaxed into crypto, and this all equals in someone how to make it in crypto. What do you think about this?
Um, I think with regards to your first point, with buying and holding ETH, um, yeah, I think it would be pretty wise, especially if you yield farm with it, even though you then take smart contract risk, and also you need to then, stay relatively up to date. You can't just be in the sun unless you just put your money in like Curve crypto or something.
Mm,
So I think in general it's quite good, and yeah, it makes me think that I'm doing the opposite right now. I have a small
mm,
yield farm back, and I'm yield farming. I'm switching every day, like even multiple times per day. So I'm
yeah.
I'm, I'm at the total opposite side of the spectrum. And when you think about it, most of the
Mm,
gains come from your big allocations and from things that start off small. So
mm,
maybe this is not the most wise thing to allocate time to. Um, but yeah, I mean, quality of life is of course very important. So yeah, it makes sense. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is I'm not as bullish on ETH as you are. So it may be that you have some kind of like recency bias or something, and that some newer coins will do
mm,
better. So maybe it's better to just hold, I don't know, Terra or something, or Luna, for instance, and go on holiday instead of holding ETH and going on
mm,
holiday, just in case the events of later this year don't turn out to be so bullish. So
mm,
that's my first point. Second point with regards to giving back to family. Yeah, of course, that's the whole goal, right? To climb yourself out of the pit and then help others to climb out of it as well, basically.
mm.
And then your third point, what was that again? It was about humor, right? About Kobe's
Yeah,
humor.
how is he so relaxed? How you know the ups and downs, right? And it can get you totally mentally wrecked seeing your portfolio drop by
Yeah,
60, 70, 80%.
I kind of disagree with you because he mentioned that sometimes he does feel, down, and if he has a bad trade or he gets angry by other comments or stuff like that. So I don't think he is as calm as you make him out to be. I do think he has a lot of humor, and in general, Brits tend to have
Mm,
a lot of humor. And also, I think he comes from a pretty low income background, so
mm,
he has a pretty good dose of down to earthness to him.
mm,
I think that helps him a lot. So
mm,
I think that's his background mainly helps, and the fact that he's also British, and they naturally have kind of
mm,
an immune system due to their humor.
mm,
So I think that's also a big part. And yeah, it's
mm,
easy to stay calm if you have multiple millions. You probably have some that are just in cold storage. So in,
mm,
in in the worst case, he always will have something in cold storage, and he can just go and take a
mm.
trip to the Bahamas or something. So that also helps in staying calm.
Yeah, maybe that's a good reflection from your side. Maybe it's just he knows that even though it could decline by 90%, he's fine and his family is fine. And if my shit declines by 90%, I'm not so sure. So yeah, maybe it's yeah. I noticed this from Julian as well. So Julian, the Click DeFi CEO, he has multiple hundred millions in crypto as well, and I do see similar patterns now that you mentioned it. So yeah, I think it's a good reflection from your point. Thank you.
Sure. And there's one more thing I wanted to add about the episode, because there was a little segment of the episode in
Yeah,
which
yeah,
they did a
yeah.
game, and it's a Dungeons and Dragons alignment chart, and it's a matrix of 3 by 3.
This was so hilarious.
Yeah, and it goes from lawful, neutral, chaotic on the one axis, and it is good, neutral, evil on the other axis. Oh, sorry, yeah, lawful, neutral, good, lawful, neutral, chaotic, and good, neutral, evil. And I think you are lawful good for sure. But what do you think I would be?
Oh, I need to take the chart
Okay,
in front of my eyes again. I need to see all the categories. Let's give me the homework
I,
for our next episode, and I need to think about it a little bit more.
I paint you the
Uh,
chart if you have time. You can see a picture there.
okay, then let me do it
Sure.
spontaneously. I do see it. So there's lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good. Ooh, I think that you are for sure not chaotic, my friend. You're really uh, what is it called? Sorted out. Uh, neutral. Let me see. Neutral evil for sure not. No, no, no. I don't see any evil tendencies in your part. So we're on the upper left corner. Neutral good. I, I think you are somewhere between lawful good, true neutral, or lawful neutral. We never met, so I'm not quite sure, but I think you are neutral good. If
Okay.
I if I had a gun to my head, I would say neutral good.
Okay.
But
I would probably
yeah,
say the same. But one of the fours you mentioned are all yeah applicable. Maybe I'm a
yeah,
mix. So yeah, I just wanted
yeah.
to hear you
Uh,
out about that.
yeah, this was a good idea. Some of the times I do think that you are true neutral because sometimes it's just like okay, whatever. But then you have your human tendencies, and I think that true neutral is not just um, a true neutral point. You do have obviously, I think, really good tendencies in yours, and yeah, but I don't think that you enforce your stuff on other people. So I think lawful good, yeah, I know quite true. So yeah, I think you're
Okay. Okay.
neutral good person.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay. Cool. Thanks for that. And then
Yeah, sure.
let's move on on the next topic. So what excites us? Do you have
Yeah.
anything?
I do have two things. So I do have a question for you, and also a small information I would like to share. How about you? How much do you have?
Yeah, I don't really have anything that really excites me, to be honest. So
Mhm.
I'll pass this week.
Okay, perfect. So what excites me? So like I said in the last episode, I'm thinking about restructuring my portfolio for this year, and Julian said that it most likely, so the highest likelihood is that the market will go up a little bit over the next couple of months. So I do think a lot about okay, how do I DCA and what do I DCA in? And this makes me excited because I haven't changed my portfolio in multiple months, basically, or years. So I would like to ask you the question, and then I can answer it on my own as well. Yeah, what are the projects that you are interested in right now? You mentioned a couple of ones like Orbridge, for example, but are there other projects you're interested in right now? And if so, do you have a bag of those?
Um, so I don't have a bag of almost anything. So yeah, I don't think I have that. But there are some things that I'm interested in. I can give you just a quick list of things I'm interested in.
Hmm.
So I'm interested in bridges in general. So right now I have all bridge, but I'm also looking at Synapse and multi-chain.
Hmm.
I'm interested in Helium. I'm interested in Aurora.
Hmm.
I'm interested in some of the Phantom protocols, such as Liquid Driver and
Hmm.
Beethoven. Um, what else am I interested in? I'm interested in Keeper, Andre's project on Ethereum, and also coming now to Phantom.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I was kind of interested in Astroport, but it has been quite disappointing, to be honest.
Hmm.
So I was gonna enter Mars as well, which is another like kind of like sister protocol, and I don't think I'm gonna do that upon reflection. And also Levana is also one that I was interested in, but
Hmm.
I'm no longer interested in. For the rest, there's a project called Web3 or something like that, World Wide Web or something,
Uh-huh.
and it's a little bit of an NFT metaverse, but it's 2D. It's quite interesting. So that one I'm also interested in. And what else? Yeah, maybe Saber
It's
on.
quite a list,
Yeah,
my
it's
friend.
yeah. I'm interested in a lot of things, man.
Hmm.
Saber on Solana is also quite. I mean, I never thought it was interesting, but the conviction of some other people in Saber, I need to look at it more closely.
Hmm.
So
Wow, that's quite a list.
yeah, these are yeah, and DeFi
What is,
Kingdoms as well, but yeah.
yeah, are you putting deeper research into one of those projects right now?
I like to, but yeah, time. Yeah, I just need to
Hmm.
prioritize better or something. I just don't get around to it too much.
Hmm. So there is no new high conviction bet where you think this could be really, really interesting.
No, I do plan to buy some DeFi Kingdoms and yield farm on there. I just yeah, bridging is just a pain in the ass or getting
Hmm.
Harmony, so I haven't done it yet.
Hmm.
For the rest, nothing in particular at the moment.
Hmm. Yeah, cool. Maybe as a small
Hmm.
nuance to what you said. So you recommended to me in one of our evening talks that there is this podcast which is called Empire, and on Empire they did talk about the outlook for 2022, and one of the guests, not Santiago, the other guy, who what's his name, Jason also? Is it possible,
I
Jason?
think Jason, but you mean host, not guest.
Yeah, one of the hosts, yes. So it's Santiago and the other guy. Sorry for missing your name right now, the other guy. But he said that one of his highest conviction bets for 2022 is also DeFi Kingdom. And he gave his reasoning, which I thought is super rare and super interesting because he plays it and he enjoys it and he likes it. And he told a quick story where he basically has his jewel stuff and he gives it to a farmer. And this is basically the equivalent of providing liquidity. So this was the first time I actually heard someone talk bullish about a game where he plays it and he enjoys it. So this was quite interesting. So I would underline DeFi Kingdom and the Jewel. I need to take a deeper look into it as well. Because usually people just speculate on what could come, and yeah, I thought this was quite interesting. Did you caught this as well on the podcast? You listened to the podcast as well, right?
Which one was it? Was it the most recent one? Because yeah, I didn't hear it.
It was at the end of December.
Okay, probably not. I listened to the one with Curve, the most recent one, I think, and I one with Kalsamani and Tushar. So
It's before that.
I haven't to listen to that one. But yeah, I mean, DeFi Kingdoms is actually an RPG where you can, level a character and stuff, and you have different classes and these kind of things. So if you love RPGs and you love DeFi, then I think DeFi Kingdoms is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely going to try it out and play it as well.
Okay, yeah, cool. Let me know what you think if you actually played it.
Sure.
Okay, and if I were to ask myself the question, what project I'm interested in, so I'm interested in roughly 20 by now, and if you want to know which protocols those are, let me know within our Discord. I do want to highlight one protocol, and I know I brought it up a couple of times in a similar way, and this is the DeFi chain. It flies under the radar. It's called DFI. It's basically blockchain fork from Bitcoin, so it's non-Turing complete. And Julian, together with his co-CEO of Cake DeFi, they actually launched the chain, but it's different. So Cake DeFi is the company, and DeFi chain is basically the blockchain, and it's out of their hand. It's run by governments, by governance. So yeah, it's getting fully decentralized. So I would highlight the DeFi token. It's called DFI. And just to give you a small explanation, and by no means no financial advice, blah, 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 blah. It's just I'm telling you what I do, and I do think I have really high conviction in this. It's basically native decentralized finance for Bitcoin. So it's basically DeFi on Bitcoin. It has multiple upsides, multiple downsides, but the biggest difference is that it's not Turing complete, so you can do less with it, but it's also more secure. And for the long-term vision, they basically have the long-term vision of 10 years that they will basically enable countries to make transactions between each other. I know it's a really big vision and it's in 10 years, but for now they go down the route of having decentralized assets. So for example, you can go ahead on the platform, you go ahead and stake your DFI, you stake your DFI token, and then you can mint, for example, a synthetic Tesla stock against it, or you can mint whatever you want to. And so it's basically that the DFI token has utility for minting new tokens for now. And yeah, so you can mint and redeem, and they have a really good roadmap. And I do think that Julian is one of the guys out there who has a really good heart, who has deep technological knowledge, who has a vision, who has a drive, and I basically trust him. Trust him. Quotes. Obviously, I've never met him. I've never met him, and I wouldn't give him my PIN address to my bank account, or even worse, my MetaMask account. But yeah, I think it's an interesting topic. I would like to highlight the DeFi chain, and if people are interested in that, check it out. I do think there is a high likelihood that you like what you see, and it's a different approach. It's not the 101th MMA on a new chain. It's not the 1001th DEX aggregator. It's just a different use case for a different chain. And yeah, they have do you want to take a guess on how much TVL is roughly locked on a DeFi chain right now? Because I think you never heard about them, right?
I think I've heard only from you about about the chain. The TVL, if I were to guess, I would say 50 million.
50 million?
Yeah, total value locked on the chain.
Yeah. So as a reference point, Ethereum has roughly 150 billion. Solana has roughly 10 billion, and DeFi chain has 666 million. So it totally flies under the radar. It has more than 2 times the TVL of optimism right now. So yeah,
Okay.
take that for what you want. It has more than 4 times the near protocol, and so yeah, it flies under the radar. But I think it's legit, and yeah, I just want to highlight it.
It has more than Lightning as well, right? More
I'm pretty
TVL.
sure Lightning has 3,000 bitcoins in there right now, right? Something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And if you multiply this with the current price of, I have no idea, 42, 43, 40K, let's say 44, you end up with 140 million. So yeah, it has roughly 3 to 4 times the size of the Lightning Network.
Okay.
That's a good comparison.
And you're saying it's a fork of Bitcoin and not a roll-up of Bitcoin?
It's a fork of Bitcoin, exactly, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a cool topic.
Yeah, I need to look into it, Patrick. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
sure.
trust it, it's probably, there's probably some merit to it. But when I hear a fork of Bitcoin, I don't
Yeah,
think
for sure.
any fork has been successful, so who knows? But I guess some of the other chains on Ethereum, there are maybe like
Mm,
almost forks of Ethereum, and they have been successful. So who knows? Maybe a
Yeah,
fork of Bitcoin could be successful as well.
yeah. I would just like to bring it up, and
No, it's good
by,
for the listeners.
by no means I would like to recommend it. It's just one of the things that doesn't get much hype because it's not an ERC20 token, and you could ask yourself, okay, Patrick, why do you say this? Just educate yourself a little bit about what gets listed on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, and ask yourself what gets hyped there, and how do you get on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, and you might come to a conclusion that yeah, they have some interest in not putting everything on there, but that's a different topic. I would
Okay,
like to share one other thing with you,
sure.
which got me quite interesting, excited, and then we can transition to our portfolios challenge. So, and it may be a good bridge actually. So, maybe we can start with our Solana portfolio challenge at this point. And let me start if that's okay for you.
Yeah, sure.
So, as a refresher to our audience out there, our portfolio competition is basically, yeah, we started with 5 Sol a couple of months ago, roughly 11 weeks ago. And then the goal was, okay, make as much yield as possible. So increase your USD value or increase your Solana value. So we started with 5 Sol, and at the last week, I was at 4.61 Sol. So I lost a little bit of Sol, and the value declined to $706. And this week, I am at 4.58 Sol. So I lost 0.03 Sol, really, really little money. This equals $13. So I managed to lose a little bit more money. And this is due to the fact that I'm in a protocol right now where I'm 2x long on Solana, because I'm speculating on an airdrop. And I also think that the bottom is somewhat in. And also, I do have some Ethereum within my Solana portfolio. And this is a little bit bad from a timing point of view because Ethereum went down a little bit more than Solana, so I lost a little bit there. So overall, it's basically a flat week. But there is some interesting thing in there. So the airdrop hunting stuff. I mentioned a couple of times that I do take those bets from an airdrop hunting point of view, and you participate on platforms, you put your money into protocols, you do that with the hopes of getting airdrop. And yeah, over the last couple of weeks, I noticed, and I mentioned a couple of times, that the airdrops on Solana, they are not quite worth it, right? They are just like a couple of bucks, and I'm thinking about, does airdrop hunting even make sense? I brought this up, Mark, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and now I get more and more into the mindset that this could be true. And because I managed to get an airdrop, and at first I was like, yeah, no, nice, awesome. Finally, I get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 Sol out of it. On Ethereum, you usually, in quotes, get airdrops between, let's say, multiple $100 up to multiple 5 figures, if you have a big allocation, if you were able to get a big allocation. And this time I managed to get my first airdrop, and it was, you want to take a guess how much money?
Is it already included in your portfolio?
It's already included. That's the sad side.
Okay, I would say $3.
Yeah, you could nail it. I can explain the story. So there is this protocol out there which is called Mean Protocol, MEAN, like being mean. And I used them because I was speculating on an airdrop, and you could have used them by setting up revenue stream. So you're basically dripping 1 cent basically to someone every other block or so. And I used them, and then I saw a nice retroactive airdrop for their early adopters. And now comes the funny part. So I got 4 meme tokens, and 1 meme token is worth roughly $2. That means that I basically got an airdrop for $8. But now comes the mean part, ha 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 ha. And they actually, those guys, they set it up in a way that you get your meme token dripped via their product over the next 12 months. So right now, I'm getting $8, which is the current price. It could obviously be worth billions in 12 months, but most likely it will be worth cents. I will get airdropped those 4 meme tokens over the next 12 months, like a tiny little what is it called? Aqua drop, water drop on your head, like every time as a reminder. Small airdrop, small airdrop, small airdrop. But yeah, I'm basically just kidding. I think it's obviously really nice to get an airdrop, and even if it's just $8, it underlines my thinking that airdrops on Solana might totally not be worth it, and it's just a waste of time. And I might just switch more to yield farming from a normal point of view. And yeah, I'm not quite at the point that I will give up airdrop hunting. It's just, yeah, one more data point. And I told you a couple of weeks ago, I guess, that if there are multiple data points, I will adjust my strategy, and I start to adjust it right now. But I'm not at the point where I give up with airdrop hunting. It's just, yeah, I got one, and it's just totally irrelevant. What do you think about this?
I think it's freaking hilarious that you got streams and airdrop of like $8 over a
Yeah,
year. That's yeah, but yeah, I still think your strategy might pay off though, because I think protocols like Katana and Friction, they're quite legit. So if they do
mm,
an airdrop, it will be not $8, I think.
mm,
But yeah, time will tell. Yeah, in general, yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Like, so right now it looks like you're not doing well, but a couple of airdrops could make up all the difference. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, so it's still hard to predict for me how it will go, since I don't have that much experience with airdrops. So
Mm.
yeah,
If you want to
it's quite
have
funny.
if you want to have experience with airdrops, I highly recommend buying the meme token from a guy who has experience in it from a really good price point of view. So we can talk about this over the counter trade after our episode. But
Yeah, sure.
man, sorry, need to sleep a little bit more. Sometimes I start stuttering if I sleep not that much. Yeah, so yeah, I highly recommend you try this, my friend.
Okay, yeah, we'll do a over-the-counter trade for your mean allocation for a lunch or something.
Yeah, fair deal. How
Okay,
about you? How about your portfolio?
yeah. So I thought I was going to move to Phantom at the end of last week, but then there were some interesting deals popping up. So I was updating my sheet, and then I noticed there was a farm of 800% on Solana USDC.
What?
So I just had to dive into it, and it was
What's
also
what was the TVL? How high was the TVL?
I'm not sure, but it's quite a legit farm. It's Cropper Finance. You know Cropper, right?
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Yeah, so Cropper is quite a legit protocol in my opinion. I mean, they have a quite good site. They have swaps, etc. So yeah, it's all right. And well, of course, it was because they just launched it, right? So that's the advantage of if you update the sheet every day. You come across good deals at the moment they are there, right? So I
Mm.
saw the deal and I immediately had to ape in with all my portfolio, both
Wow.
real life and and this portfolio, the podcast portfolio.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that did. I mean, next day it was 200%, so it dropped quite quickly, but
But even
still pretty
200%
nice.
for Sol
Yeah,
USDC.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's
What?
because Cropper people don't know Cropper, So this is why I think it.
That might be true.
Yeah, so I think this is why. Yeah, it. And you got the
Wow.
CRP token, and yeah, I don't know. I just sold it all, but yeah. So I'm actually a little bit disappointed in my yield that I got. So after
Mm.
that, I noticed the yield was going down to like 120% or something, and then I noticed another deal a couple of days later, and it was also I think around 200% on Sol M Sol. I was like, oh my god,
What?
yeah, seriously. But it was APY, I think, not APR, but still.
So 200% on basically a stable pair.
Yeah, yeah, on Sol M Sol, and it was on Elmet, your favorite
What the fuck?
protocol. So I was in there for a couple of days, and then 2 days ago I saw another great deal of like I think almost 180% or maybe even 200 on Radium, even of all things. Um, it was the pair Sol USDT, so still quite a
What?
safe pair. So then I aped into that one. So this is how I managed to. Yeah, I only got $7 out of it, so it's still kind of little for some
But markets
reason.
went down, and that you make some money is impressive.
Yeah, I guess so. So my portfolio allocation went from roughly 850 to roughly 862. And in Solana terms, I also gained from like 5.57 Solana to 5.69 Solana. So yeah, it was a
Wow.
good week, but yeah, I don't know. It was good, but yeah, I thought it would be better.
Hmm. Yeah, but that's really interesting. Where do you, how do you find those opportunities? What are you doing? Is this still your sheet that you publish on Twitter? Or how do you go about this?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything special. So because I publish a sheet every day on Twitter, I notice whenever something is hot and then I can ape into it. That's pretty much it. But it's
Hmm.
all in a sheet, so I'm not hiding anything or something like this. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's really, really good. And yeah, maybe I need to try to use the sheet as well a little bit more. But then how can I outperform you, right? We need to do different.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit hesitant if I should go to Phantom or if I should
Mm,
stay in Solana because
mm,
I'm quite bullish short term. Like I'm talking about like a month or something for Solana since
mm,
it's been down quite a bit, and Phantom it's been quite hyped lately. So I'm not sure what's
mm,
gonna happen. So maybe Phantom is like a buy the rumor, sell the news or something, or sell
mm,
the fact. So when the protocol launches from Andre, Phantom may dump a lot. So I'm still kind of unsure what to do next week.
mm. Do you have a similar sheet for Phantom as well, or how do you go about finding the deals on Phantom?
Yeah, I have a similar sheet for Phantom, only it's not as exhaustive. I only have, I think, 5 protocols on there or six or something. Not that
Mm,
many, but they are all relatively safe ones, big ones that I know for sure that they are good to enter in Phantom.
mm.
So I have the same sheet for Phantom, but only it's a lot shorter.
Okay, interesting.
I just don't publish it, but I can give it to you if you like.
Yeah, just to me. Ha 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 ha.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, perfect. I think that's interesting that we take different approaches.
Mhm.
And I might need to learn something from your approach. And I think your way is the, let's say, more stable way to get to a goal. And mine is more like the volatile point.
Yeah.
I do made some nice money within 2021 from airdrops, and I'm still in the process of figuring out how much of my overall portfolio actually came from airdrops this year. You could figure out like how much your portfolio growth came from yield farming, but I'm not at the point right now because I need to update my transactions from 2021, and this most likely will take multiple weeks. But it would be super interesting to talk about the ROI we actually got out of yield farming airdrop hunting in 2021 if you are open to this kind of discussion.
Um, I mean, I'd be open to it, but I think it will be hard to calculate, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I need to think about it. I do intend to at least every month because we also need it for the podcast to track the
Mm,
portfolio so we can check at least the amounts. But to see the percentage from airdrops or from yield farming will be difficult since I always
mm,
swap.
I agree.
I swap out of it out of the farm tokens into solid tokens. So yeah,
Yeah. I do have an idea, but let's talk about this off the podcast on how you can calculate this.
sure.
Okay, okay. Anything else, or should we wrap it up?
No, that's it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think, guys, if you want to learn more about how to yield farm, we are publishing more and more videos on our how to Solana yield farming from scratch on our YouTube channel. It's super tough to develop this content because we want to make it good content. There are 2 episodes out there right now. At the time of the recording, it's Friday, the 14th of January. We will most likely publish another episode within the next couple of days. And yeah, if you have any questions whatsoever, jump into our Discord and let us know what you think. And yeah, besides that, yeah, stay healthy, guys and girls.
Cool. See you next week, folks.
Bye bye.